Quick question before we get started with the show. Do you order lab tests from companies like Dutch, DSL, Genova, or Vibrant America? Hi, I'm Dr. Carrie Jones, Head of Medical Education at Rupa Health, the absolute best place to order, manage, track, and get results from 30+ lab companies all in one place. Practitioners using Rupa Health are saving well over 15 hours of admin time each week for their lab ordering process. With just a few clicks, you can order from 30+ lab companies, that's over 3,000 tests, for free in one single portal. That means one invoice for all labs, paid online upfront. Plus, patients get practitioner pricing and receive full patient support through easier personalized collection instructions, automated follow-ups, super bills, answers to testing questions, and so much more. Go to rupahealth.com to sign up for your free account today. Now, let's start the show.
Welcome to Redefining Medicine, an intimate and personalized program that illustrates a different side of the practice of medicine. Our in-depth conversations will focus on the physicians and practitioners who are redefining medicine through their integrative, functional, and holistic approach to health and well-being. Our host for Redefining Medicine is Dr. Erica Schwartz. For more than 20 years, Dr. Erica has been at the forefront of advanced patient care, taking the best from conventional and integrative medicine and applying them to prevent disease. Dr. Erica is a distinguished A4M faculty member in disciplines ranging from hormone therapy, peptide therapy, and IV nutritional support.
Welcome to Redefining Medicine. I'm Dr. Erica Schwartz, your host. And on this program, I interview the innovators, the creators of the new healthcare system. They're the ones that will change our lives for the better. And today I have the honor of interviewing Dr. Gordan Lauc. Dr. Lauc, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's wonderful. Dr. Lauc is the director of the Human Glycome project, and he is the leading scientist in this area. So I'm going to ask him a couple of questions because not too many people know about glycome and the role of glycome, the physiology in aging. So please feel free to tell us. Thank you.
So glycans are the ultimate layer of molecular complexity. The majority of proteins are decorated by glycans, which expand their structural and functional variability. In aging, we know that inflammation is very important because this is one of the major drivers of aging at a cellular level. And glycans are one of the key regulators of inflammation. Particularly glycans attach to immunoglobulins, to antibodies, to molecules which are made to fight invaders, bacteria, viruses, but in the same time, they're used to resolve inflammation. Because inflammation is good if it's being used to eliminate a threat, but in majority of us, especially as we are getting older, the low-grade chronic inflammation is starting to cause troubles. And this is where glycans actually fail, because in young people, glycans which are attached to immunoglobulins are efficient in suppressing inflammation. As we are getting older, we are losing these anti-inflammatory glycans, and immunoglobulins have more and more of pro-inflammatory glycans, which actually drive inflammation. And this is partly genetic, around 40% of it is defined by our genes, but 60% is lifestyle. So decisions which we make, food we eat, physical activity or non-activity is actually changing our glycome in a way either to promote inflammation or to suppress inflammation. In other words, either to age faster or age slower.
So how do you create the glycans that will help you age slower?
So we don't really fully understand that process. We know it's very complicated. It's over 40 genes which work together to make a decision how to glycosylate the IgG. But we know from a number of large studies, and we analyzed over 200,000 people so far. We know that, actually we know more what are we doing wrongly?
That's a good start.
Yeah. So we know, for example, obesity is one of the major drivers. So if we become obese, our glycans are becoming more pro-inflammatory, which we could fix by losing weight. So people who have extra weight can improve their glycans by losing weight. And we have shown this in a number of studies. But interestingly, there is no magic diet. Because we had 1,000 people in Europe, first for 2 months on a low-calorie diet, and they all improved. But low-calorie, it's not humane. You can't do a low-calorie diet.
How low was it?
800 calories.
That's impossible,
crazy.
right, to sustain.
So they did
it's
it
not
for 2 months.
sustainable.
So the average weight loss was 10 kilos in 2 months.
That's significant. That's like over 20 pounds.
Yeah. So they did a major weight loss. But then they were switched to 5 different maintenance diets for the next 6 months. And on each of the diets, some people got better, some people got worse. And this is the reflection of something which we know, but the medicine isn't actually appreciating it. And this is that we are all different. Because all the recommendations, dietary, physical activity, even medicines, are based on a standard human. So you test 1,000 people, an average person will respond like that. And there is no standard human.
Right.
Each of us is different. So what we learned about diet is that there is no magic diet which works for everybody. But we can see, by testing glycans, whether some diet actually works for me or not. So I can try a diet, check my glycans, check it 3 months later. If they improve, the diet is good. If they don't, I can try alternative diet. The other important thing is physical activity. And here there's actually a trap, because the lobby of the food industry kind of framed the entire public opinion, even the medical opinion, that you can fix the bad diet by physical activity.
Which is not true.
Which is not true. But this is something what has been lobbied for decades. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not the junk food that we are selling you, it's the fact that you are lazy, and if you go more to a gym, you will be better. So when we started trying to improve glycans, the first place we went were actually gyms. And we thought, you know, take a middle-aged person, start exercising, they will get better. Actually, majority of them got worse because they were overtrained.
Right.
So I think the overtraining is still one of the major problems when people try to fix things, because that's easy. You just go to gym, you try harder, and you think you're doing good.
But you have to feel good enough to go to the gym, too.
Yeah, and the thing is, the majority of people actually got worse. So I think it's exercise is essential, it's important, but it has to be linked with a sufficient relaxation, because muscles have to recover, it takes time, so you cannot just go and exercise. So that's the other thing which we can do to fix our glycans, exercise by moderately. So
and rest.
Good, and rest, of course. And the third very important thing is the psychological stress. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, when I started working on stress, and this was 3 decades ago, the science was not accepting the fact that psychological stress can change molecules in our body. Now this is well accepted. We know that what we think is changing the signaling in the brain, it's changing hormones, it's blocking the immune response. So stress is one of the key elements also for the glycans. So, but you know, you can always say, but you know, we know that. Healthy food, moderate exercise, stress, that's a universal thing which people, we don't do it. And one of the reasons why we don't do it, because the reward comes after several decades.
Right.
So, you know, I'm not going to make a difficult decision today, and difficult decision could be going to the gym, not eating a dessert or whatever, for a reward which will come in 2 or 3 decades, and I have no ideas whether this what I'm doing is having any effect or not. Oh, yeah. But if there is a test, and with glycans we can test it, which can tell us in a few months whether something what we are working is actually helping, then people get much more motivated. So I think that the largest value in the test which we have developed is that it can help motivate people do the things they know they're healthy. It's not magic, but we don't do it. With the proper motivation, with this numbers. You take a drop of blood, you measure your glycans, you get a number back, and if this number is improving, this tells you I'm doing something good. If the number is getting worse, then you have to think about maybe I'm doing something wrong.
But that's brilliant, actually. And we have so few ways of testing how things are going, where we're going. So tell us about the glycans test.
Yeah. So the idea, actually we stumbled onto that test. We were doing...
the biggest discoveries are stumbled.
Yeah, so we are doing patient control studies for different diseases, cancer, diabetes, whatever. And then we realized if we don't match the patients and controls perfectly for age, we always see the same difference. We see this change that happens with age. And we published it nearly 10 years ago in 2013 as this glycan clock of aging. But in the meantime, we also learned that it's not only chronological age, which is important, but it's actually this biological age. So people who are living unhealthy lifestyle, they'll age faster in the glycan measure than other people. And also, what we have learned is that glycans are not only biomarkers. They're drivers which drive low-grade chronic inflammation, and in this way they promote cardiometabolic diseases, and they change up to a decade before people actually get diagnosed with the disease.
Brilliant.
Because the disease is an endpoint,
Right.
something not working, then
Well,
you
you
go
want to
for
prevent
help.
it, and you want to get to prevention, so you're taking it to prevention. So my question is, how do you get the test? Where do you get the test? How
So-
does a clinician like myself get my patient
So
tested?
once we learned that this test is good, we actually established a special company just to sell the test. It's called Glycanage. It has a website, glycanage.com, and it's selling globally. Maybe 50% directly to consumers and 50% through healthcare professionals. So people who are trying to help, so professionals who are trying to help other people live healthier, generally use this test to demonstrate to their patients that what they are doing is actually working. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of snake oil in this industry. So
Sadly.
yeah, and longevity has always been a very sensitive subject. Since the ancient world, there were always some kind of fountains of youth. And some people don't like to be verified. But those who do their job properly and who are really helping their patients, they like to be verified. And I think that the biggest advantage of this test is it's helping clinicians personalize interventions. Because we have to be honest and say that we know very little compared to what we do not know. And general public is expecting their doctors to solve all the problems. And this does not work that way. We can only work together with the patient and try to help them to find a way how to stay healthy. And I think it's essential that the healthcare switches from this periodic healthcare, meaning when we are sick, we ask for help, to continuous healthcare, where people will try to stay healthy and act preventively. And using this test is one of the ways which can help us see what is going on a molecular level. We don't know all aspects of that. We don't know whether this is universal program of aging, which is kind of pushing towards elimination of weak units by promoting inflammation. It's also one of the theories. It's possible that the evolution developed a way how to eliminate the old individuals. It could be more just the inflammation-related marker. We cannot claim that we know everything. But what we know is that young people have these anti-inflammatory glycans and IgG. As we are getting older, we are getting more pro-inflammatory glycans. And this pace of changes is very individual, and it depends on a lifestyle. So people living healthy lifestyle will move slower. People living unhealthy lifestyle will move faster. And we make a decision whether we will move more to this pro-inflammatory, pro-aging status or less.
I think that's huge.
Well,
I think it's huge because I think, we talk about so many biomarkers and we have so many biomarkers of aging and so much testing going on, but none of them is really predictive.
Okay.
And none of them is really helping us know which direction we're going. And I think that what you're talking about is actually showing us which direction we're going.
We are coming from the science side. So I'm a scientist. I'm primarily a scientist. I have a research group of 50 scientists, and we do a lot of research. We publish a lot, and we try to stay on a safe side. I'm trying not to overclaim what we can do and what this test means. So we still don't know many things. One thing in particular which we don't know, when we see a new person with a glycan age of maybe 10 years more than it should be, we don't know why they have a higher glycan age. And we don't know in advance what will really help them. We can only suggest, we know that people who are doing similar things like you may benefit from this. But what we can do, in 3 months, we can see whether it works or not. Right. And I think this is the essential difference between what we do and what some other tests which you can find anywhere do, is that we really see a change.
The trend.
If there is the real lifestyle change. So there are some clinics which make their patients 15, 20 years younger within a year in therapy. So there are ways this can be fixed. We still don't have sufficient information to say how much will this actually make you live longer. But what we know that this is one of the best predictors of a heart attack and stroke. So glycans are one of the best predictors of cardiovascular diseases, also of diabetes, of inflammatory diseases. So all these bad things, which maybe not kill you immediately, but will make your life
miserable,
much worse, they can be reasonably well predicted by the glycan test. So we hope that this can help people motivate themselves to live healthier. We hope that this can distinguish between the healthcare professional who is really thinking about their patient and trying to help them, and those who just want to take their money. Because if something is working, they will be willing to validate it. They will share it with their patients. Patient will be happy. Physicians will be happy. And in this way, we could make the world a little bit better. And continuously, we are trying to learn more. So I think the level of our ignorance is much, much larger than the level of our knowledge. We have to accept that, and we have to try hard to learn as much as we can.
I totally agree. I couldn't agree more. And as a clinician, I really applaud what you brought to the table, because as a clinician, I provide individualized care. I provide one-on-one care, and I know everybody's different. And I think everybody needs some kind of help from the scientists, from the researchers, to help us predict. And we're always behind the 8 ball. We can't predict. We're always coming in afterwards, trying to figure out. Thank you so much, and I look forward to starting to send a lot of patients to you.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you.